Bitcoin's price prediction and technical analysis. Did Elon Musk paper hand out of his position, or like on Seeking Alpha they call it, let his hands? We'll check this out in this article, and we're going to do our own price prediction and technical analysis at the end of the video. Welcome back. Moneybags Rico here, bringing you financial awareness to a crypto space that is changing on the hour, every hour. With that being said, not the way, let's go ahead and get started. We got Bitcoin could hit 10% adoption rate by the end of the decade. So pretty epic if you ask me. That sounds like good news, right? We got Musk admitted to dumping some 936 million of Bitcoin to raise cash out of concern of an economic pullback due to the pandemic lockdowns in China. Bitcoin miners are the buyers of last resort when it comes to sustainable energy. Shanghai lockdowns were a challenge for Tesla in the second quarter, and that's why he sold that much Bitcoin. So global Bitcoin adoption is expected to hit a parabolic phase by the year 2030. I'm not sure who's predicting that, but it sounds pretty accurate to me. I think it will continue to grow. I do believe that Bitcoin has hit currently that bottom, and we're going to check this out when we look at the charts at the end of the video, because Bitcoin is doing something that it hasn't done for a while. You guys are going to want to see this. So we got lettuce hands, a term that I've never heard before. Let me know if you guys heard it down in the comments. We always say paper hands. So we got is an expression some people use to describe an investor who sells their Bitcoin at the first sign of trouble, often at a loss. An example of this used in a sentence might be Elon Musk has let his hands because he sold 75% of Tesla Bitcoin holdings in the second quarter. And we already read this part. This was an interesting part right here. The chief executive said he sold for a realized gain, but some people online have some serious doubts. So let me know down in the comments, do you think that he sold for a profit? Do you think that Elon Musk got shaken out of his position? Did he have paper hands like we call it in the meme world, in the meme token, in the DeFi world, I should say? Or did he let his hand out? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's get to these price prediction and what Bitcoin's doing a little bit differently this time than it has before. So this area right here is the area we're going to pay attention to, and right here. But first, notice how we respected this 200 moving average. I made it a little bit more bold because it's something that we should pay attention to. So we see it here where we, did not break past it, just hit against the 200 moving average. And the same here once again. And, some small breakouts right here, but basically continue to just crash against this 200 moving average and eventually just fell down, right? When Bitcoin had that pullback all the way down, try to hold on to around 20,000, and then broke down all the way to that bottom that I believe is Bitcoin's bottom, that's 17,000. Let's reverse our arrows, and now we're going to pay attention to something that Bitcoin's doing a little bit differently this time, because if we zoom in on this area once again, we see that 200 moving average had almost the same effect as last time. The minute we crashed into it, even though we made that bottom and we started making higher lows, started to consolidate, almost came right back down to that 17,000, but started to rally back up. We see us crash into that 200 moving average. Does not matter what the price is, but when it comes to that 200 moving average, it's something that we have to pay attention to. But now this is something epic. This is something pretty amazing if you ask me. I like this because if we look right away, we can see that Bitcoin overall is marching and making higher lows as we continue. Disregard these support and resistance because those are when we're doing a little bit more gap and go, but you can see that they still hold value. But these overall areas right here, this one, and now this one, that's very important. This one's brand new. This is what's happening different than all the other times. Let me know down in the comments if you spotted it before I got to it. And what's happening right now is that it broke out the 200 moving average and it made a support here above it, above the 25 as well, but came back down, and now we made a support right on that 200 moving average. To me, that is pretty bullish. If you guys go back, I highly advise you guys go watch the other Bitcoin videos that I made. A lot of people were saying the markets were going to go down. We have this horizontal line, and I've been questioning for about 2 weeks. Is Bitcoin going to hit 27,000? I've been putting it on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at CryptoRico. Oh, disregard. That was my last one before we went to this. At Rico Moneybags. Go to at Rico Moneybags on my Twitter, and you will see that I've been posting, it's 27K, this area that we might break out to. We see some resistance in this area at the 24,000, right? That psychological barrier moving into almost 25,000 where we have that breakout. But 27K is what I want to watch. But it looks like we can. If you really look at the overall on the 4-hour chart, let's take a look at the MACD. Let's look at all our indicators. Let's line everything up, because we're having some serious price action that's a little bit different than before, with Bitcoin not only breaking past its arch nemesis, if you want to call it, this 200 moving average that has just been having trouble with nonstop, to not only breaking past it, but now making the support above that. So that has to hold some type of value. We've been respecting it on the sense that it continued to reject us. We have to also respect it that now we're on top of it and holding support. And what helps us reaffirm that or make sure that that's true is our indicators. We're on the 4-hour chart, a little bit more mature, right? We have the MACD, blue line crossing over the red, so indicating that we're moving in a bullish momentum. We have the MFI. We were already oversold above that 200 moving average. So now we are oversold. We're ready to rally up, and we already did overbought. Notice overbought or oversold, overbought, oversold. What's next is overbought. What goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. What is just leaving just showed up, and what just showed up is now leaving. And right now, I think some of that bad is behind us. I think it's in the rearview mirror. You know, I want you guys to let me know in the comments, is this bear trap season? Are we trapping a lot of bears with them not realizing that, you know, right here, Bitcoin is actually just making higher lows, and it's continuing. It's marching straight up to this 27K. And if Bitcoin can break 27K and get towards, you know, dancing around with that 30K, it's going to get to looking pretty bullish, depending, of course, what's going on in the news and whatnot like that. But, you know, that's all later on. Right now, in this moment, if we layer this chart up, Bitcoin's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and work our way down before we get out of here and layer this up. Leave some comments down below, because we're going to be calling this one spot on for Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's doing what it has to do. So now we can see where we're overbought a little bit on the 200 moving average. We're still looking good. On the MFI, we're still looking good on the MACD. So we can see that, you know, that 23K moving to 24K, it's a area of some trouble. But we have seen already that lately what it's been doing is just trying itself out, consolidating, and kind of doing the same thing over and over. This same little pattern is happening nonstop. I think this is the next round that's going to happen, where it might just consolidate a little bit. It might even pull back some to this, you know, 200 moving average might be an area for you to keep an eye on, which is 21,448 would be a good area to keep. Maybe to not financial advice, but, you know, if you want to put a position, if you want to wait for some kind of pullback, noticing that the MFI is, you know, now in the overbought range. Let's go ahead and go down to the 1-hour chart. And, you know, of course, we see it above the 200 moving average. Again, overbought again. So, you know, not trying to FOMO in and wanting to be a little bit smart. You know, we do see that on the 4-hour, we're still looking good and we got a good range to go. But we might consolidate into smaller ranges. So why not get that trade in a little bit lower? Of course, if you think that it's just going to break out, which Bitcoin can. Bitcoin can just go parabolic out of nowhere and just surprise everybody and break right past the 27K that I even said. But, you know, do you want to just wait a second, let this consolidate and see if it pulls back to that 200 moving average? Seeing that now we're respecting it quite a bit. We did here, again here, and basically just consolidating above it. So it's pretty interesting what we got going on right now. Smash that like button for me, guys. Share these videos on TikTok, you know, Twitter, whatever social media platforms you have. Let's get the word out there and continue to come back and experience the abundance of money with me. Until next time, you guys know what it is. Later.